Hey guys, what is going on? What's happening? It's another day with V4 here to save the day yet again. With gaming news, game talk, I'm talking about games today. And we are starting with Fallout, a new Fallout game, but not really. This is Fallout Bakersfield. And this is essentially a game that's being built. Let's take a look at the... Let me turn off the music here. So this is Fallout Bakersfield. Fallout Bakersfield is a game that's being designed. It's a brand new game. It is made by the community. It is not made by Bethesda or Microsoft. And it is made using one of the Doom engines. One of the old Doom engines that people used to make Doom, different versions of Doom. Like Doom 1 and Doom 2. And that's why this game has this vibe. And what's really super cool about it is that this is harkening back to the original Fallout 1 and 2, in my opinion, the best Fallouts. And it's grabbing that style and it's saying, hey, instead of this being like, I don't know, if you played like the old Pokemons, right? Or you played like an old CRPG, Fallout played like that. And it's from a top-down perspective. The camera is like, as they would say, isometric, above bird's eye view. And, you would run around and things would be in a turn-based manner. And you'd get to interact with the world in all these sorts of cool and silly ways. And this game is saying, hey, what if we could just grab that Fallout 1 and 2 vibe and make it so that you're actually a first-person shooter, like the modern Fallouts, but but it's all old school, and everything looks like it's like the early Fallouts, and it's like, what if you could just go back to the early Fallouts, right? And now you're first person. It's a first-person game. Now, this isn't going to include every aspect of those games, but it really is trying to harken back to that, and it's so cool, and it is so freaking cool looking. This is like, you could tell that this game is made by passionate people that love Fallout. And so let's take a look at this. This is a gameplay footage. They showed off this game earlier. I think it was earlier this year. And let's see how it looks. So check this out. You can see right there that the gun, look at the way the gun looks. It looks like a sprite, right? Just like those old Doom games, right? And the way the character looks, it's giving that vibe. The character's hands almost looks like the CGI from the original Fallout, the really shitty CGI. I don't know if you guys played games from the late 90s, but if you play something like StarCraft, the first StarCraft, you can see those old ass CGI cutscenes, right? That look terrible. They look like they're running on like an ancient computer because they were. But back then, at the time, it was like, man, 3D was new. And back then, it was like, wow, this looks almost like Toy Story 1, but blurrier, and more pixelated with less anti-aliasing. And so over here, they're showing like different environments. Here, they're showing this, what is this, a zombie? And he's like, throwing up. And here's the shotgun. And obviously, the game is a work in progress. This is how the shooting is. My understanding is, and you can see right there at the bottom left that it actually has like the Fallout style combat line, where you can see how much damage you dealt, like what did you do, and these are rules, and how much damage you took and all of that, and that gets every time you hit, right? Every time you strike somebody, it gets updated in real time, and it's very cool. It's very authentic to the original games. And man, these animations are just so crazy, like the reloading and the way his hand looks and everything. It's really freaking cool how they did this. And you can see the UI at the bottom. The UI's got the old school, like, the HP, and the HP is like the little, what do you call those? It's like it flips up and down, like almost like a gas station ticker. That shows like the gas station prices, right? Like an old school version of that, right? Like you would see on some of those older devices from back in the day. I remember when I was a little kid, we had a family member that worked at a bank, and they had those classic typewriters. And it was in a computer. There was no computers. It was just typewriters, and everything you did there was just like that, right? And it just feels like that. It feels like, you know, that whole ching, and it would like push everything up mechanically, and it would update everything mechanically. That's the kind of stuff, that's the kind of vibe that the UI is going for. And of course, you can see the character's face, very much like games of that era, very much like Doom. And you can see your weapon, just like the older Fallouts, and additional information, you know, on the bottom right. So very freaking cool. I'm really interested to see how this game is gonna like play out, like in terms of like is there gonna be levels? Do you see like levels, or is this like you just kind of keep walking around almost like an open world? You know, I guess right now he doesn't have a weapon equipped, so his hand's just up like that. Here's him picking up weapons and armor. This is looks like a power fist. Very cool. Look at the animation when the guy dies. I mean, look at that. Look at that. Even there's even like reaction when he pushes him. The ghoul will hit the toilet, and the toilet like breaks apart. That's so cool. I mean, that's certainly more than what you see in Battlefield 6 when you shoot somebody right next to a toilet. That's more destruction there.
Come here.
So yeah, they're just showing off like different weapons and different environments. I don't know when this game's coming out. You know, it still looks like very much a work in progress, but it's very cool. Simply amazing idea. In fact, just thinking about this, it gets like my mind going. Like it makes me think like, dude, what if somebody, and of course like this because Nintendo fucking sucks. And Nintendo's just gonna do the bullshit that they do, and they're gonna call the lawyers and, you know, try to like take down any mods or games like that. But I would freaking love for the original Pokemon to get this treatment, right? Like, imagine like they just remake the original Pokemon and they have graphics like this that are like sprites and stuff like that. You know, that are sprite-like in a 3D environment, and you're just like throwing out your Pokemon, you know. And you're fighting like real battles like right there without like a changing scene like in the old games. That'd be so freaking cool. But you know that like freaking you're better off if you're like a modder or you're some sort of like novice game developer. You're better off making your own game. You're better off making a fucking I can't believe this isn't Pokemon, or legally distinct Pokemon like Power Word or something, than trying that, because Nintendo's just gonna make it. The difference between Bethesda and Nintendo is that Nintendo isn't gonna, like, Bethesda is, they've always honored and respected and encouraged modders. They've always honored like their games being like, you know, enhanced and improved by the player base. And fucking Nintendo is the complete opposite. Nintendo is like one of those terrible fucking companies that like are massive control freaks and want to control fucking everything. They don't want to let you do anything. And that's the worst part. People were losing their minds about like the Nintendo Switch 2. Like there's like somewhere in like Nintendo's new EULA, like their terms of service, there's some line there that Nintendo can like turn off your Nintendo Switch and completely deactivate it for any reason they want. You know, and it's like, as we head into the future and we got these devices that are more and more I would say technologically advanced, right? Because if you look at like the Game Boy was very simple. You turn on the Game Boy, nothing happened unless it had a cartridge in it, right? They didn't even have like a OS that you could like boot into as a user. And over time, Nintendo has added more and more features, and their consoles have become more, you know, more complicated, right? And more almost like PC like in some ways. Right now they have like the eShop, and they have like, you know, you can see your screenshots and your information. You can like download games, you can do all these things. And as they get more and more complex, they're gonna get more and more draconian in how they can control what you can do. So that's very unfortunate. You know, super cool that Bethesda is, you know, really cool about stuff like this. About like, there's also Skyblivion, that mod that is trying to like bring in Hey, Wink Warrior. Nice seeing you. Thanks for commenting. I've been good. Um, and you know, they allow these mods, and that's super freaking cool. So, you know, love to see it. I say. How long have I been streaming? Technically, I would say 2 weeks. It's probably about 2 weeks, 1 week and a half, depending on how many days you count. Yeah. So you know, just trying to get better. Uh, doing this and that. You know, I'm working on the YouTube channel as well on my downtime. But yeah, it's going pretty good. Yeah, sure. You can. You want to ask me something? Is that what it is? Or you can ask something. Would I be interested in custom graphics? No, no, we don't. I don't do. I have to put this on there. I don't do. There's no soliciting. But thank you. I appreciate your your offer. But no soliciting. No soliciting in my chat. Thanks. Um. So yeah, that was somebody in a YouTube chat. Uh. But yeah. Uh. Let's see. So what else do we have here? We have Bakersfield. So we checked out Bakersfield. Um. There's so Skate has been in development for some time. If you know, back in the day, the skateboarding scene was really popular. We used to have a lot of skateboarding games. We used to have all sorts of licensed games. They even tried like licensed like surfing games, and like there were obviously snowboarding games. A lot of that X game style stuff. And the biggest one of them all, the most popular, was obviously Tony Hawk's Pro Skater. That series is legendary. You know, to this day, you can go in and you can see, like, for example, if we go to Metacritic and check out some of their highest rated games. So Metacritic, let's see here. Let's check out their yeah, let's go to games and let's see how would I see this? How do you see like their like ranking of like best games? Um browse all games. Yeah, let's do that. And yeah, from any release date and by Metascore. I can't believe Astrobot got a 94. I don't know. I don't know, man. It's a good game, but like, man. Um these are all but see the problem is that these are all PS5. So let's put it what like PS2 and PS1? There it is. There it is, boys. There it is. Higher, bro. This is higher ranked than Grand Theft Auto 3. This is high. It's higher ranked than Elden Ring. It's higher ranked than Baldur's Gate 3. It's higher ranked than Metal Gear Solid 2. That's how big these games were. Let me see what happens if I put in the PlayStation because I know there were a lot on PlayStation. I don't know if that changes anything. There it is. What did I tell you? What did I fucking tell you? So that's what I was looking for. I was looking for Pro Skater 2. There it fucking is. September 20th, 2000. Highest fucking rated game among the PS1 and PS2 games. I think the highest rated game is on the Nintendo 64 though. Can I put all of them? Can I just? Is there like a click all of them? There isn't a click all of them. Yeah, because I don't want to have to click them all, but one by one. Um, let me put PC because I like PC. Let me put what like GameCube. Look at that, still on top, man. Damn, I can't believe, dude. Fucking journals. They gave this game a fucking 97. Now, this is a very good game, but not a 97. It runs like shit. This game runs like shit. It's like, what the fuck? Anyway, GTA 5, 96. Uh, and let's do what? PS3, and let's do, fuck it. Let's just, there it is. Let's put the big one. Let's put the big one. I wanted to do, what was it? Dreamcast? Did I already do it? Did I already put Dreamcast? Here we go. Dreamcast, and we already have PS2 on there, PS5. Yeah, we got everything that's important. And the last one we're missing is Nintendo 64. And there it is, number one. Number one, The Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time, November 23, 1998, baby. There it is. These are the top two rated games of all time on Metacritic. Ocarina of Time and Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2. And even then, Pro Skater 3, a year later, dude. It came out a year fucking later. That's how they used to do it back then, man. They didn't fuck around in those days. None of this like 6, 7 year development times. Um, and even then, Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3 is matching Grand Theft Auto 5 in Metascore. That's fucking crazy. Soul Calibur was a very good game too. Fucking gorgeous game too at the time. Um, yeah, dude, GTA 4 got a better score than GTA 5. I didn't think so. I didn't expect that. But you know what? It is a better game. It's a better game. It's way cooler. Um, but yeah. So since then, they've been working on these Tony Hawk Pro Skater like games. And Skate was EA's big answer to that. And they've had a lot of skates. I think they had 4 skates and then they stopped. And he started working on this one very recently. And people were like, why are they working on a skate in this I mean, it's fucking like 2022, 2023, post-COVID time. You know, it's like, do people really care about skateboarding games anymore? You know, but they've been working on this. And the way that they're doing it is that it's going to be a free-to-play game, but it's going to have no gameplay. They claim that there's going to be no gameplay like affecting microtransactions. It's going to be purely cosmetic. And they've been working on it for a long time. They've had a lot. There's like on TikTok and like YouTube, there's a lot of like gameplay they've been showing of the game because people have been in these like private betas, these under NDAs, but they're posting the videos. And so people are like, when is this game coming out? And they've been saying that for years. So finally, we got a release date trailer, but apparently it's for early access. Let's check it out and let's see what's happening here.
This is no ordinary city. In this civic symphony, each object holds latent potential. On the streets of San Vansterdam, a great migration is happening. The skaters are upon us.
Yeah, I mean, the game doesn't look bad visually for a game like this, you know. Vans, and I had these bad shoes that I used to wear for like fucking ever, and I was very happy wearing them. That's pretty cool. These games are very fun, man. Like, they look simple, but they're super fun, a lot of cool things that you can do. Especially when they started making them like more open, and you get to like run around in like cars and stuff. Running around and all in like an open world style sort of environment. So that's pretty cool, yeah. So it says, yeah, play for free September 16th. And it's coming September 16th, and it's coming to, I was going to say that the game does look kind of like a PS4 game. It looks like a PS4 game. It looks like something that could run on Switch too. And it is coming to Xbox Series X, PS5, PS4, PC, Steam, obviously. And is there a Switch too? I don't know if my thing is blocking it there. No Switch 2. But you know that if the game does well, it will come to Switch 2, because the Switch 2 has got PS4 level power. So, if a PS4 and an Xbox One can run this game, a Nintendo Switch 2 will be able to run it as well. It's pretty nice. It's a nice upgrade over the Switch 1, which is basically PS3 level power. And everybody tried to cram games that couldn't run on a PS3 or a hardware like that and just try to force it to run on the Switch, and it was just disastrous. But yeah, this is very nice. This is finally, it's going to be available to be played by the public September 16th. So that's pretty cool. And the game looks nice. Yeah, so that's Skate. So let's see. We're going to be taking a look at... So there was this interview here. And this is from Final Fantasy 14 and 16. He's not the director of 16. He was a producer. But he was kind of like the boss man of 16. You know, he was the one that built the team and all of that. So this is the director of Final Fantasy 14, producer of Final Fantasy 16, and there was an article, and he says something that I find kind of silly personally for me. I've always enjoyed it when, like, you know, when I had a Nintendo 64 and like the GameCube came out, I wasn't like, oh man, this sucks. I was like, bro, this is great. Bro, look at Smash Brothers Melee on the GameCube. Look at Metroid Prime. Look at fucking Luigi's Mansion. You know, that's what I thought when the Wii came out, and the Wii was like, you know, look at Wii Sports. I was like, wow, look at you, look at what you can do with all the waggle. You can waggle the controller, right? I was like, that's really cool. I didn't go, oh man, now there's a new thing. When the fucking iPhone came out, I didn't go, oh no, wow, now there's a phone with a big screen and it's really popular. This sucks. My flip phone is useless now. It was like, no, bro. It was like, fuck yeah, dude. I'm glad they made this. So some people have this attitude of like, no, please, no more new technology. No more new technology because, like, I don't know. I want to be an old technology forever. Like, I don't know, man. But that's how it is. So this article here is that there's no need for the PlayStation 6 and Xbox Next. Very much like the person I just described, right? From a gamer's perspective, says Final Fantasy 14 director. And to that I say, no. No, fuck you. No, that's like saying, by the way, that's like saying if you have a PC and you have like a GTX 1080, which is, you know, able to run games, or like a 1080 Ti, that there's no need for you to like upgrade. Like there's no need for like, and I mean, there's no need too is like, well, there's no need for any console. There's no need for consoles to exist. There's no need for gaming to exist. You don't need that. Humans need air, oxygen, right? They need water. They need shelter. They don't need gaming. They don't need any of this sort of stuff. So it's like need, but want. I would say want. I would want a PlayStation 6. Absolutely. And an Xbox Next. I do. Especially, they're supposed to be coming out in 2027. That's where all the rumors are pointing out right now. That's 7 years after the PlayStation 5 came out, man. You had a kid when the PlayStation 5 came out. That kid is a 7-year-old at that point in time. That's a long fucking time, bro. Come on. So from a gamer's perspective, there's no need for the PlayStation 5 or Xbox next generation system, according to Final Fantasy XIV's director. Asked about the next generation of consoles and the possibility of Final Fantasy XIV launching on them, in a fresh interview posted by Feed for Gamer, Yoshi-P confirmed there's always the possibility of a game launching on new platforms, as his aim is to make the game accessible to as many people as possible. With recent platforms coming with very high specs, the team's work is considerably easier than in the past, so any new hardware released is definitely a positive in this regard. From a gamer's perspective, however, there's no need for a PlayStation 6 and the Xbox next generation system, Yoshi-P added. Right now, the Final Fantasy XIV director feels that people are happy with the current generation system, highlighting how the price of new hardware will likely play a factor in this sentiment. And so this is Final Fantasy XIV. So I am gonna pick this up here and copy this so we can take a look at it over here. And there we go. Okay. And so this is his last game. This is the game that he made on PS5. And what I think is funny, you know, this is the PC version, by the way, running on a 4090. so yeah. And what I think is funny is this game on PS5 runs poorly. This is a 720p game. This game runs at like PS3 and Xbox 360 level resolutions on a PS5. It's a good looking game, but it's a blurry game. You know, you try to play at 60 FPS, it doesn't hit 60 FPS very well. And it's just... It's like, it makes you go like, how is it that you're running this on a PS5 and a Series X at 720p and you can't even hit reliably 60 FPS? You're dropping to like freaking 45 FPS and stuff like that. Like, how is this? Oh, I know why. It's because the hardware is just not powerful enough. You know, because if you play this on PC and you play this on more powerful hardware, all of a sudden you're running this game, you know, way higher. You're running this game at like 90 FPS. You're running this game at like 100 FPS. So it's like, if you want this experience and you want it on consoles and you want it to run better, there's no choice but the PlayStation 6. Because by the way, the PlayStation 5 Pro doesn't fix this game. You know, it's improved, but it still has issues. So I think it's a matter of like, are you satisfied? I mean, there's people that are satisfied right now being on PlayStation 4. There's kids right now that are playing on a PlayStation 4 and they're playing Fortnite and only Fortnite. There's people that are playing only Overwatch. They're playing these free-to-play games. They're playing only Roblox, only Minecraft. And they're perfectly happy on their PlayStation 4. And that's totally fine. In fact, I was thinking to myself, I was playing Dark Souls, and I was thinking to myself, dude, I kind of want to play Demon Souls. Not the new one, because I do have the new one for PS5, but I want the original. I like the one that's made by From. Even though I bought it for PS5, I kind of don't like some of the look of it. It looks kind of like it doesn't look From-like. Like it doesn't have those From design, like that art style and that design sensibility.
Goblins.
Like some of the stuff on that game looks like it's like it was made by the World of Warcraft team. Like they look like this belongs in World of Warcraft, you know, in terms of art style. So I was thinking about bringing out my PS3 and like playing some Demon Souls, you know, and it's like in that respect, bro, the PS3 is fine. I mean, Demon Souls runs like shit on PS3, but hey, I'm still playing it. It's still gonna play. I mean, I would still be able to beat it on PS3. And it's kind of like when you lower your standards like that and you go, yeah, this is passable. Of course, you know, anything is fucking fun. Dude, I could play Monopoly with my friends and I'll be having fun. I don't need like a fucking HD TV, a 4K TV, and like a PlayStation 6 and like, you know, or a 5090 or whatever. Yeah, sure. But the thing is that when you have games like this that run poorly and run at PlayStation 3 level resolutions and still can't manage to keep 60 FPS, you are going to need better hardware to get a better experience. And I don't think you should, like, you know, slow down the process of... I don't think that the PS5 should have been canceled because there's like kids that are happy playing on their PS4s. In that same respect, I don't think that there's like the PS6 should be canceled because there's people that are fine playing on PS5. And the good thing about this is that cross-gen is becoming a bigger and bigger thing. You're having more games that are being played on a wide range of platforms. There's games that are like, a lot of the games that come out now are playable on a 2060. On a 2060 on PC. That came out in like 2018. On a 2070, you know? Like, that's 2018 hardware. That's what, 6 years old? You know, almost 7 years old, and it's still running all these games fine, right? But yet still, you have all these people that are buying, if you go to Steam, that the most popular card is not a 2060. It's not a 1660, you know, from way back in the day. It's not a 1060. It's a 4060. It's not even a 3060. It's a 4060. When did the 4060 came out? In 2022. So obviously people are still upgrading. They're still getting something better. And I think consoles are going to eventually need something better than the PlayStation 5 standard that isn't the PS5 Pro. Especially considering the PS5 Pro doesn't solve the CPU problems that the PlayStation 5 has. It's the same CPU. So if you have CPU problems in a game, it's not going to fix it. So yeah, I think that we should want technology to improve. We should want new hardware to come out, especially when it's ready. The PlayStation 5 specs have already been leaked for a while. The chip is taping out this year at TSMC and the TSMC's foundry. So it's on track for a release 2 years from now. Release date. And it's going to have a Zen 6 CPU, and it's going to have an RDNA 5 GPU. And there's going to be a home version, like home PS5, and there's going to be PS6. There's going to be a second version of the PS6 that's going to be a handheld device like the Switch 2. And it's going to be more powerful than the Switch 2, but weaker than the PS5. Like the specs are right now like half as strong as a PS4. And it's coming. And it's gonna happen. And it's a good thing that it's happening. And it's a good thing that it's happening around 2027 or early 2028. And I welcome it. Let technology continue to improve. It's not like the PS6 is like fucking gonna, like Terminator kill us or something like that. It's not like it's like dangerous technology. Let it improve. And if you want to release Final Fantasy 17, you know, the next game after this one, and you want to release that game, you want that game to be played on many devices. Have it be on PS5, and have it be on PS6, and have it be on PC, and have it even be on Switch 2 if you want. We live in a cross-gen era, and this era is never going to go away. The PS5 is going to have games that are coming out. I bet you in 2033, there's going to be games that are coming out for PS5 still. It's 2025, and we still have games coming out for the PlayStation 4, and the PlayStation 4 is 12 years old. 12 years old. Think about that. He had a 12-year-old when the PlayStation 4 came out. That 12-year-old's 24 now. It's a grown-ass man now. So yeah, in that respect, you know, I don't know. I don't know about this. I don't know about, you know. I think we should keep technology going. So one of the things that he says as well here is that says that Naoki Yoshida says also touched upon PlayStation 4 support for Final Fantasy 14, which, by the way, Final Fantasy 14 is a PS3 game, which will continue for as long as possible. Although there will, it's a PS3 originally game. It's not on PS3 now. After the third expansion, after Stormblood, the second expansion, they moved the game to PS4, and they're gonna eventually move the game to PS5 on as well. It's just a matter of when. So this is what they're talking about here. He touched upon PS4 support for Final Fantasy 14, which will continue for as long as possible, although there will inevitably come a time when support for the previous generation systems will be dropped, mostly due to the console's OS and hardware regulations that limit data. Interesting. Which are already making plenty of games such as Genshin Impact drop support for previous generation hardware. So far, Sony has increased these limits for Final Fantasy 14 as the team requests, but they're already informed developers that they're reaching the limits from their side. What is this data they're talking about? So regulations that limit data. Interesting. So the end of support for a PlayStation 4 version of the popular MMO Final Fantasy 14 may be on the horizon. Though many may not feel the need for a PlayStation 6 and next generation Xbox, as Naoki Yoshida highlighted, there's no denying that the next console generation promises to be one of the most interesting in decades. I actually think maybe not, but okay. As both Sony and Microsoft seem to be, actually, you know what? This is true because of what Microsoft is doing. They're heading in different directions, both Sony and Microsoft. While Microsoft seems to be going for a modular design, offering flexibility that will compete more with pre-built gaming PCs, Sony will reportedly release a home console delivering up to 10 times the ray tracing. And that's easy. 10 times the ray tracing performance is easy as hell, considering that the PS5 has weaker ray tracing performance than a 2060, than a 2070 from 2018. So 10 times that in 2027, of course, easy. But you know what it's not going to have? It's not going to have 10 times more performance, like in terms of rasterization, in terms of like FPS and all that in a regular game. It's not going to be 10 times faster. Only with ray tracing. And a handheld capable of running current generation games natively. So that's the handheld that I talked about earlier. It's pretty great, man. One of the things to consider as well is that if Sony says we're not releasing a PlayStation 6 until 2030, we want to give the PlayStation 5 a 10-year life cycle. Microsoft is going to release their next Xbox in 2027. So there will be new hardware that's more capable and has way newer features, and it's way faster than a PS5 and PS5 Pro in 2027. And Sony will be giving Microsoft 3 years of like basically no competition. So Sony has to release something. They can't just sit on their asses forever. So yeah. All right, guys. Well, today's stream was very short because I started very late, but I am gonna stop it here. Um, Thank you very much for watching, guys. I appreciate it. I'll be back tomorrow, hopefully earlier, but shit, you never know. It depends. Um, Thanks for watching, guys, and I will see you tomorrow.